In honor of World Retina Day, Retina South Africa would like to welcome you to our Back to Basics with Retina South Africa special edition. The international theme for World Retina Week is Love Your Eyes, Kids. We would like to take this opportunity to thank Bayer South Africa and Roche Products for making this series possible through their unconditional educational grants. Today we're going to talk about children and myopia and the epidemic that we're facing at present. In other words, we're going to discuss devices, myopia, and children. This can in fact be classified as a new hazard, as we will see when we go through this talk. There are different types of myopia. Very big words: axial, progressive, and high. Let's have a look at what these terms mean. Starting with progressive, it's exactly what the word means. It means that it gets worse and worse and worse, progressively worse. Axial myopia is what we normally refer to when we simply mean nearsightedness or short-sightedness. When we look at a diagram of the normal eye, the light rays enter the eye and then fall directly onto the retina. This creates a sharp, focused image. However, in an elongated or myopic eye, the light rays enter the eye but fall in front of the retina, especially for distant objects. And this means that anything in the distance, any image from the distance, is very blurred. Here is another picture showing that if you look, for example, at a mobile phone, a tree, whatever you look at, that image falls directly onto the retina and both create a very clear picture. However, in the bottom picture, you can see that the light rays fall really short of the retina, creating a blurred, fuzzy, indistinct image in the brain. Now, when we look at excess screen time, we know that excess screen time makes the lens muscles less flexible. In other words, the lens that we discussed in a previous chapter of Back to Basics, the lens loses the ability to adapt to changing distances. And one can almost say it becomes accustomed to close-up images. In other words, it becomes fixed and it can no longer adapt to those distances. The lens, in other words, loses its elasticity. So it is less flexible and less elastic. We also know that less outdoor time does exactly the same. The lens muscles become less flexible and the lens is less elastic. So if you put these two together, less outdoor time plus excess screen time, we really are setting the scene for major problems. It is not surprising then that many of our children end up with high myopia. In other words, that is the extreme form of myopia or severe nearsightedness or severe short-sightedness. Is myopia as widespread as they're telling us? If we look, in 2024, we know that approximately 30% of the world is myopic. This is a 66% increase since the 1970s. At this rate, by 2050, half the world will be myopic. That is a major problem, and it is a 140% increase. Why is this? We've already looked at excess screen time, less outdoor time, and unfortunately a lot of people combine those, and even outdoor time is spent on devices. And if you look at this cartoon, you see that many people say, and this is far too common, it's a beautiful day, go out and play with your phone outside. Looking for disaster. The causes of myopia then are excess time close up on smartphones, tablets, computers, and that limited outdoor time. There's some things that we cannot change, but we need to be aware of. If you have a family history of short-sightedness or myopia, chances are that you are predisposed to that as well. And ethnicity, although it does seem to affect just about everyone. It has become almost the norm for children to wear glasses. And more research is showing that in children, excess screen time can increase the risk of myopia by almost 80%. And this risk can affect even little babies. Now, high myopia that we mentioned is associated with really severe consequences for youngsters. High myopia could result in macular degeneration at a very young age. They could have retinal detachment, glaucoma, and even cataracts. And these all carry a significant lifetime risk of severe visual impairment or even blindness. So why does this happen? The stretching of the retina due to the elongation of the eye, as you know, if you take a balloon and you stretch it, the wall gets thinner and thinner and thinner until it ruptures. The retina does exactly the same. And if this happens in the retina, that thinning can also cause bleeding beneath the retina. The elongated eyeball that we now know is myopia stretches and thins the retina. That thinning leads to retinal breakdown, and if that's in the central area, which it often is, that starts to affect central vision at a very young age, and this is called myopic macular degeneration, MMD. Now, how do we prevent this? We know about it, but we need to do something about it. Because we know the connection between the increased reliance of children on smart devices, we know, point one, that reducing screen time can help to reduce the risk of myopia and the associated damage to the retina. And this is true for even young children, and we're going to look at this in a little bit more detail. The prevention, in other words, reduce screen time, increase the outdoor time, increase social interactions. Let them talk to each other rather than sitting next to each other and texting each other, which happens so often. There are also specialized glasses or lenses that can slow myopia, and some ophthalmologists may prescribe low-dose atropine drops to be used at bedtime. But this is on prescription from your ophthalmologist. It is essential for these children to get their eyes examined frequently, at least annually or more often if it's progressing rapidly, according to your eye care professional. We also recommend at least 2 hours of outdoor time every single day, and we suggest, obviously, limiting screen time. We know that at the moment, the average time kids spend outdoors is only 4 to 7 minutes per day, and that's as they move from a vehicle into school, etc., etc. But they need at least 180 minutes of unstructured outdoor play, and preschoolers need at least 2 hours of physical activity, preferably outdoors. Now, screen time for babies 2 years old and younger has doubled since the mid-90s. Many studies are beginning to find. And please note in the top left-hand picture how stressed the children become if they're allowed to become reliant on that screen, or a diligent adult tries to remove it. Many countries have issued guidelines for the amount of time children should use a device. Babies between 0 and 18 months, none, which means that the pictures and the hundreds of pictures you can see on the net of babies using devices is a no-no. Toddlers, less than an hour, 2 to 5 years, 0 to 3 hours. Kids up to their teenage years, 6 to 17, 2 hours maximum per day. Please note, and we cannot stress this enough, the recommendation is a maximum of 2 hours of device time per day. It is not advocating 2 hours away from the device per day. That is 2 hours on the device, any device, per day. Older teens and adults, maximum of 2 to 4 hours a day. Now, please remember that this is on all devices. And to put that more pictorially, the younger you are, the less access you should have to these devices. And lastly, we'll end with the special myopia lenses that have been developed for children. These certainly help to save their sight and are available only from trained eye care professionals. These special lenses for myopia in children are very effective in limiting myopia and in ultimately preserving sight. If you need to know more about them or need to contact a specially trained professional, or if you have any questions, please contact us at Retina South Africa. You can reach us at head office at retinasa.org.za or on our share call line, which is 0860595959. Thank you. And in our next episode of Back to Basics, we will talk about light and the eye. Finally, a reminder that if you support us by joining the My School program, this is of no cost to you, but every time you swipe at certain stores, Retina South Africa gets a small donation. Once again, thank you.